What's up, y'all? My name is Leo DeBruhl, four-year basketball player at UC Davis. I play point guard, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about what it's like being a student athlete here at Davis.
Margin lead the nation at almost 8. Here's DeBruhl probing.
Tell us what you like about being a student athlete here.
I think one of my favorite things about being a student athlete at Davis is just the sense of community, and like with all the other sports teams. You know, I feel like I have friends across every single sport here, and some of my best friends are on the football team and my basketball team, and like it feels like a family in a way. You know, I feel like it's pretty cliche to say, but like it's honestly true. You know, and that's one of the main things that's kept me at Davis for so long. And the transfer portal is so big, but I feel like the relationships I've built over these past 4 years is just something I wouldn't be willing to just leave behind. You know,
yeah.
And I feel like it's super special.
No, Aggies supporting Aggies.
Yeah,
that is great.
It's able to save it. And now here come the Aggies. Rochak, backdoor cut to DeBruhl, runs into Lloydston, draws.
What is something you may not expect as a D1 athlete?
There's a lot of other things that go into being a D1 athlete other than just your game, you know? And I feel like a lot of people, they come to the games and they see us do this, and then they maybe think we just go home and just hang out after that, and then we just are normal again. But there's a lot of things that go into it outside of whether that's recovery, school, weights, rehab, travel. One thing that I've learned is that just because we're going on the road doesn't mean that it's a vacation for us every week. I feel like that gets mistaken sometimes. Like,
you get to Hawaii.
Okay, I will say Hawaii is a bit of a vacation.
Okay.
Maybe if it was a little less of a vacation, we'd get a win.
Cal State Fullerton left. Cal State Fullerton,
when we go to
Hawaii.
Bakersfield, it's like, no, this is not a vacation.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Probably looks a little different looking at the airplane, you know. So
yeah. No, I definitely like look at some trips, and I'm more excited for some than others. It's a lot of work, but I also don't want me saying it's a lot of work to sound like I'm not grateful for the work, and like I'm so blessed to be in this position that, like I said, I wouldn't want it any other way.
One of the best pickpockets in the country, and shows that example right there.
Now Rochak, nice.
Do this real quick. So it's a day in the middle of the season. Take me through a quick day in the life.
Day in the life, middle of the season. Okay. In the mornings, we have mandatory breakfast check every morning to make sure we're getting a real meal in our bodies, because it's a long day, whatever. So it'd be like 9 a.m. mandatory breakfast check in the dining commons, and the coaches are there watching us eat, making sure we actually do it. And then I usually go to class from 10 to 12. That's when I try and schedule my class. And then we'll have practice at like 12:30, and 12:30 like 2:30. Once practice is done, we go straight to weights, whether that's an EFAC or TUMI, and that's about an hour long. Then after weights, I'm usually dealing with some sort of injury. My body's hurting somehow. So I go to Olivia, our athletic trainer, spend some time with her, do some rehab, some mobility, anything to just feel better for the next game, you know. And the season moves fast, and like games are coming every other day, it feels like. So you need to be ready for the next one. And then after that happens, I try and squeeze in a meal somewhere. And then usually I have a class in the evening as well, around like 6 to 7, 6 to 8, class like that. So I feel like that's an average day.
That is beast mode. That is crazy. That is.
I will say I wouldn't want it any other way. Like I signed up for this life, and I love it so much. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I bet the days go way fast, though. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Sometimes they go fast. Sometimes they take a long time. Yeah. I guess it depends, like if we've been winning or not. Honestly. Yeah.
That's a good answer, actually.
Yeah.
DeBruhl, short corner, mid-range.
How do you prepare your body physically in between seasons, coming out of high school? What do you do when the school isn't going on to stay in your best shape?
For me, I feel like I'm always in decent shape. One thing I struggle with is too much, you know, and playing too much and working out too much. And so like the season just ended for me about a month ago, and I think I took 3 weeks off, which is a long time for me, of just doing nothing, letting my body fully recover. But then when I get back in that shape, it's a lot of mobility stuff, and it's a lot of weight room stuff. Obviously, I'm always gonna be playing basketball. I'm always gonna be doing workouts like that. That's nature for me. But it's mostly like the weight room and just getting super comfortable in there, because the stronger you are, the more flexible you are, the more mobile you are, like the less likely you are to get hurt. And I think that's one of the biggest things that people don't think about, is that like the weight room's not gonna get you hurt. That's what's gonna prevent you from getting hurt. And Matt Schubert, I wanna shout at him. He's the best weight trainer in the country, in my opinion. I'm a little biased, but he's my best friend, as well as like just a great mentor in the weight room.
He'll step back. Got Johnson in the corner. He wants the three.
All right, Leo, you mentioned a lot about how important it was to take care of your body, getting treatment, something you mentioned. What are some other things that you do for recovery?
This might be a hot take for some people, mostly amongst my teammates, but they hate the ice baths. And when I see mandatory ice baths on the text in the morning, like I get excited, you know. And the EFAC, we built the most amazing ice bath pool. It's like 20 feet long, and I love to get in there. And then you get to hop in the hot tub after, you go back in the cold tub. I don't know. I love that feeling. So that's something I do. I do a lot of work with bands, like stretching bands. I roll out my quads every single day because apparently this affects this somehow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
you don't want those Greg Oden knees.
No, not at all. Yeah. So I'm trying to have a long career, not a Greg Oden one.
Poly Wednesday in Henderson, who's the number 7 seed, and they've beaten Cal Poly twice.
What would you say is like the biggest mental challenge of being a student athlete?
I feel like one of the hardest things about being a student athlete is just managing your time.
Okay.
And understanding when I'm going to be able to fit in all this stuff with basketball or whatever your sport is into the academics as well and into your social life. Sometimes it's hard to fit all of it together. I think that was something I struggled with, is just not trying to feel like not overwhelmed, you know, and because it's really easy because your sport dictates a lot, like your whole life, you know, and whether you want that to be the case or not, it's like you spend so much time doing one thing. If it's not going well, it affects your social life, it affects your academics, it affects you turning in schoolwork on time. So just trying to like remember that your identity is not how well you perform on a day-to-day basis, and it's always gonna be a roller coaster, and just trying to keep it a little bit more level, you know. And I just try and write everything out. Like I write everything out at the start of the week, plan my classes, when I'm gonna be doing this test, when I'm going to practice, when I'm doing weights, when I'm doing recovery. I try and plan it out, and like I think for me, just like seeing it written down like takes some stress off me, because when there's so much stuff floating around, like I'll have ideas pop into my head of what I need to do, but if I have it written down, I feel like I am more prepared. Yeah.
Leo, that is a great way to look at life, I think, because it is so easy to be like beat yourself about your last performance, whether we're talking about your last possession in a game, your last at bat, our last flop that we made on the internet. You know, it's easy to get wrapped into that stuff.
The Aggies. Good looking play for the Roadrunners. DeBruhl, 49%. Yeah, he got it.
Leo, we don't like it. It doesn't happen a lot around here, but
it does happen eventually.
If the Aggies lose, or if we're in a losing streak, what do? How do we bounce back?
I think just understanding that it's never the end of the world, and it does feel like it is in the moment, but we say we lose 3 in a row, that's not the time to be like, oh, we're never going to win again, and it sometimes feels like that. And one thing I always try and do is just lean on my teammates, because some people handle it worse than others, some people handle it better than others. I hate losing more than I like winning, so that's my least favorite thing, is when we're in a losing streak, whatever. Just lean on your teammates, because you guys are all going through it together. And I feel like that's when you need to get the most motivated and get the most out of each other. And it's not time to be sad or mope, we play 33 games a season. It's like, we lose 3 here, let's get the next 4, win the next 4. And then it's so long. There's gonna be roller coasters every year. I played 4 seasons. There has never not been a time where we lose 3 games in a row. You know, it always happens, and we always bounce back. Just understand it's not the end of the world, and we're gonna figure it out.
8-point cushion. Washington's largest lead was 10. DeBruhl.
What are some resources that student athletes should take advantage of here at Davis?
One person that I always lean on really hard, especially at the start of quarters and playing for classes, is my academic advisor. We're very blessed with Laura Goldhammer. She's amazing. I wouldn't be able to graduate without her, if I'm being fully honest. And then I think one thing I've learned as being a student athlete is that you need to go to office hours and talk to the professor. You don't use that, like they know that it like traveling and your schedule can be challenging at times, and so you need to advocate for yourself, speak out to them, show up to their office hours when no one else does. They know your name. They'll be a little bit more lenient with you at times. Like when you're on the road and you can't get this assignment in on time because you're flying back, it's like they might help you out a little bit more. So I feel like that's one thing I learned a lot. Go to office hours, meet your professors. We have the most beautiful training room EFAC thing that just got built this past year, a couple years ago. So use that. I'm in there pretty much every single day. Lean on your trainers. you're going to be with them whether you like it or not a bunch. You never know when injuries happen, so lean on them, become really good friends with them. The more you help them, the more they help you out.
DeBruhl, really consistent player. 9 points a game, 3 on the way.
You got 4 years in here now. You're kind of the veteran a little bit.
Yeah.
What would be some of your advice for maybe someone who's a senior who's committed to come to Davis?
I think that the student athlete aspect of being at Davis is definitely a real thing. And you're going to be pushed in the classroom as well as on the court because we take athletics very seriously and academics as well. So yeah, it's going to be an adjustment from high school, but it's nothing that's unreasonable, you know, and I think you just need to use your resources, and we have great resources here, and use them really well. And I think meeting people outside of your sport, whether that's on the field or on the court, like meeting people outside of that is extremely important, whether that's office hours, like TA, professor, just talking to people in class. That was one of the main things I had to realize, like, I need to just go approach people in class and make friends that way. And those people are going to be the ones that sometimes, like, if it's a class you're struggling in, those are the people that help you pass that class.
That's who his body compares with. The Rock.
Dwayne Johnson would be. There's so many like different resources here. We got food, we got academic resources. Talk to me about like some of the stuff about the city of Davis, like stuff that's like outside of the university and the city itself.
I mean, I feel like everything is really easy to get to. It's like a big campus, but I feel like it's not hard to get somewhere, get to downtown quick. I live pretty close to campus, and I think there's so many food spots. Is something that surprised me. Is like I'm never like, oh, I don't know where to eat. Like I feel like you guys do it best. You put me onto a bunch of different food spots, know where to try, what bar to go to, whatever. I've been here for 4 years, and I haven't got tired of like the food or the town, or just like, I couldn't be here. Like I can't wait to graduate. I feel like I don't have that feeling at all.
Same. That's why we're here.
It's a good spot to be.
He's trying to come back and chip away again. They're 10 down. And Gaylor 0 for 6 from deep. Stanford a 6 for 25.
So you're tired. Y'all had a big game. Y'all just won. You're craving something in Davis. What's your spot? What you hitting first?
Okay, so my sister and my brother-in-law live like an hour away, and they come to every game. My biggest fans. And when they come, we usually like to treat ourselves to some pho after the game. And pho is my favorite food. And I get like people are pretty surprised when I tell them that, but it's my favorite food. I'm from Seattle. Great pho out there. Great pho in Davis as well. So we go there and just have a great meal, us three. And if they don't stay, I usually go Tim's Hawaiian. That's my go-to.
Every single possession.
Hey, Devin, we've been talking about this Long Beach State 6-game losing streak. We should note, as
you played a lot of games for UC Davis. Like, tell us about your favorite game here.
So I think I played 115 games at UC Davis, and that's with 10 games being canceled my freshman year because of COVID. But I want to say my favorite game was this senior year at Grand Canyon. That was a crowd that I've never experienced in my whole life. That was something special. Like before we even showed up on the court an hour before, the whole arena was packed out, and it's like a party in there. So I feel like it's a pretty big party school, but like there was literally a party in the gym before we even showed out. The gym's packed, and like if the ball was on the ground like this, the ball would be bouncing like by itself just because everything's so loud. And I've never been so excited to play a game, honestly. It's like it's a special feeling. And they finished the season 17-1 at home, so they're great at home. And the only loss they had was against us, and it was a special feeling. To beat them, we're huge underdogs. So just I feel like getting that win was super special. I played well. We played well across the board. Everyone played their part, and it was just a great team win.
They need to look inside out for the open three, unless they can get to a layup.
Jones has to take it away by DeBruhl. Great.
What was your favorite memory, maybe even your favorite day here at UC Davis?
This is kind of like an ongoing favorite day, honestly. I look forward to picnic day every year. I know it's the easy answer, but it's the correct Davis answer.
It's the correct answer.
It's like you can't go wrong with saying picnic day. Luckily, I've had 4 amazing picnic days. I feel like each one gets better every year because I know how to plan, and I know this is where I nap, you know. And
you could get better at picnic day.
Exactly. No, you definitely get better at picnic day. So it's good to be wise in that aspect. But I think picnic day every year, and I think I know I had an amazing one this past year with my buddies. So
that's great. Yeah, that's My answer too, Richard, I'm sure you'd say the exact same thing. He's a big picnic day.
It's the right answer.
He made a spreadsheet this year for picnic days.
That's the way to do it.
Baseline out to Brown. Big size advantage on DeBruhl, but the scrappy DeBruhl ties him up and takes it away. Now a 3-on-2. Up ahead to Cooper.
Tell us about your journey to come to Davis.
So my original journey was pretty unexpected with COVID happening my senior year of high school. Had some good offers coming out of high school, but fortunately those were taken away due to COVID and the COVID rules and the seniors in college being able to come back. So there's just less spots to fill a roster. And I was originally committed to Princeton and then found out that that's not going to work out. So I decided to go and enter my name and play at a prep school in Florida. And so I was technically a senior again because prep school is kind of like another form of high school basketball. And when I was a senior, I was allowed to play AU basketball again. So I randomly went to this tournament in Portland, and Coach Les just happened to be there. He was originally supposed to be in Italy watching my teammate Fran, my roommate Fran, but his flight got canceled. So he said, let me just go to Portland, watch this random tournament. And he watched me for a game, and I guess he saw what he liked in that one game. And I got a DM from Coach Nosek on Twitter 20 minutes after saying, are you still available for this season? And initially I was like, I don't know. Like, yeah, sure. Yeah, that was pretty much my response. Yeah, because it was just so overwhelming. And this was like mid-July. And the season's starting in like 2 weeks for the 2021 season. And I said, yeah, I got on a Zoom the next day with them, and I filled out all the applications in 4 days, did all my physicals, every single test that you do, like that takes months. I did it in like 2 days, and then I showed up on campus a week later for the first day of practice. Happiest decision I've ever made.
Good for the Aggies.
Yeah, I know, right?
That. Go Ags. That's perfect. That is awesome.
He's working it around the perimeter. DeBruhl gets the open look for a three and nailed it.
All right, Leo. So season's over. You put it in for the Aggies, man.
Yeah.
You put it in. You've put out your blood, sweat, and tears in this program. Tell us, like, what are you doing for the next level?
So I actually just signed with an agent a couple days ago, an agent based out of Lithuania, and I'm planning on playing in Europe somewhere. It's still to be determined where. I'll figure out in June, July, pretty much where I'll be able to sign. Yeah, so that's the plan. And as far as going about the plan is I'll be working out with my buddy Reese. He's a manager. He just got hired as the skills development trainer, and he's great, and he has great workouts, and I love working out with him. He's a senior here, so he's like my friend as well as my coach at the same time. Working out with him, and then I'll go back to Portland this summer and work out with my trainer that I grew up with, because I grew up in Portland, then moved to Seattle. So I'll be with my trainer from when I was just a baby. So get back with him, kind of a full circle moment before I go over to Europe.
That's great. You got the good team around you as you go on to the next journey.
For sure, the best.
No doubt, Leo, you're going to be ready. You'll be ready.
I think so too. Thank you. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @Leo DeBruhl. Follow my journey to play overseas after this quarter.